What happens when the person who promised to protect your heart is the one who shatters it in front of a room full of people? Sometimes, the moment that breaks you open is also the moment that gives you both the chance to rebuild stronger than ever. A cabinet door snaps shut, making the silverware rattle in the drawer. I pause, fingers cold as I reach for my bracelet on the nightstand. My thumb brushes the engraving. First wedding anniversary, 3 words. You are enough. I slide it on, the metal snug and chilly against my wrist. From the hallway, Robert's voice bounces between sharp and clipped. Megan, did you pack Brady's jacket? The weather says it's freezing, and we don't have time to waste. I glance at our son, Brady, kicking his shoes back and forth. Don't worry, honey. Your jacket's right by the door. I flash him a smile, hoping to steady his nerves and mine. Robert sighs at the front closet, keys jangling between his fingers. Let's move. Reservations at 9:30, not whenever we finally get the car started. I try to give him space, keeping my voice soft. Almost done. I'll just grab the gift bag. Patricia loves those lemon muffins. Brady pipes up, voice small. Will Grandpa be there too? Of course, buddy, I assure him, helping with his zipper. My voice wobbles. Brady gives me a wide-eyed look, sensing the tension without knowing how to name it. Robert mutters, next year, I'm ordering brunch at home. My hands tremble as I tuck my wallet into my purse. I force a little laughter, but it sounds paper-thin. You'll see. Once we're there, it'll be fun. Robert shoots me a look, then bends to tie his shoes with quick, jerky motions. I hope so. Let's at least get there before the food goes cold. The morning feels heavy. Sunlight through the kitchen blinds falls in bright stripes, but in my chest, it's all dim and tight. I remind myself, smile for Brady. Don't start anything, just keep the peace. Ready? Robert stands at the door, checking his watch twice. Brady offers a hopeful smile. Can we sit by the window, Mom? Please? I kneel, brushing his hair from his forehead. We'll try, honey. I'll ask them, okay? He nods, trust shining in his eyes. Robert stomps his foot, impatient. Come on, he says, already outside, voice muffled behind the glass. I take one last glance around. The vase of fading lilacs on the table, my phone charging in its usual spot, kitchen clock ticking. It's only brunch, but it feels like stepping onto a stage without knowing my lines. Before I leave, I slow down by the hall mirror. I watch my face twist, from anxious to careful calm. I say under my breath, you can do this. For Brady, I tug the bracelet, making sure it catches the light, hoping it reminds me who I am. We pile into the car. Robert drives fast, eyes fixed ahead. Brady stares out the window, knees tucked to his chest, thumb rubbing the seam of his pant leg. My hand finds his and squeezes gently. I wish the warmth would pass all the way to my own heart. The city whirls by. Storefronts, neon diner signs, the blur of weekend traffic. It feels like everyone else is laughing, moving along, and we're the only ones trying too hard not to break the silence. At a red light, Robert finally glances at me. You remembered the gift, right? I nod. It's right here. Good, he says. But there's no thank you, not even a smile. He drums his fingers on the steering wheel. My mind races, trying to find words that won't open old wounds. A beep from my phone breaks the silence. I check Jessica's text. We're on our way. Can't wait for those muffins. Brady leans in, excited just for a second. Aunt Jess is funny. I hope she sits by me. I let myself smile. She always does. I grip the silver bracelet, thumb pressing the words inside my palm. We pull into the diner, the sign blinking above steam-frosted windows. As the car seat buckles click open, I inhale, Hold it and let it out slowly. I replay all the quiet ways I try to keep the day smooth. Sometimes I wonder if anybody notices. Let's see how it goes. Just get through brunch, Megan. Have you ever tried to keep peace so hard you felt invisible? What did you do? Keep quiet or try to reach out? Share your story in the comments. Sometimes, letting others see our quiet struggles is the first step toward real change. Megan closes her eyes for just a second, face reflected in the window, before following her family out into the chilly morning. The diner hums with Saturday energy, forks tapping plates, voices rising and falling, sunlight splashing across tiles. Megan sits at the heart of it all, her silver bracelet cool on her wrist as a family brunch begins. She quickly checks that everyone has what they need: napkins, extra syrup, coloring pages for Brady. Patricia lifts her coffee, Alan cracks a joke, and Jessica teases Brady about his missing tooth. Megan tries to soak in the warmth, telling herself it'll be a good morning. The waitress stops at their table, notepad at the ready. "Can I get everyone started? Coffee all around?" Megan nods. She helps Brady order his pancakes with strawberries, and Robert leans back with arms crossed. "Just eggs over easy, bacon extra crispy, rye toast. That's it." His words are crisp, but Megan tries to keep her smile calm. As the meal flows, Megan passes syrups, helps Patricia with a napkin, murmurs to Brady about his drawings. The food arrives, plenty of laughter and swapping plates, until Robert glances at his plate and frowns. "You forgot again, Megan. I said over easy, not scrambled," he says, voice low but sharp. "I thought that's what you always get," Megan replies, trying for a soft tone. Robert sits straighter, eyes narrowing just a little. "No, I say it every time. I don't understand why it's so hard to remember." Jessica tries to break the tension. "Eggs are eggs, Robbie. The toast looks good, though. Can I steal some?" Robert waves her off, but his focus is stuck on Megan. As the waitress approaches, Robert says, loud enough for nearby tables, "Excuse me, this isn't what I ordered. I wanted my eggs to be over easy." He glances pointedly at Megan. She's a little thoughtless sometimes. For a moment, all sound around their table drops. Alan clears his throat, looking away. Megan's face flushes hot. She holds her breath, hands balled in her lap under the tablecloth. Patricia leans in, a forced smile trembling. "No harm done, dear. Everyone makes mistakes. Really, we're all just glad to be together. Don't let breakfast ruin your cheer." But the sting doesn't fade. The words echo in Megan's ears, louder now that everyone is silent. Brady notices, his small hand slipping into hers under the table, thumb rubbing the side of her palm. Megan squeezes back, her only anchor in the moment. The waitress offers an apology, rushes another order to the kitchen. Robert sighs, tapping his fork hard against his plate. "This happens every time. I just want a normal meal." Alan looks at Megan, sympathy in his eyes, but says nothing. Jessica quietly divides up the fruit, trying to shift attention. The conversation limps along after that. Every laugh a little forced, every topic quick to end. Megan barely touches her own meal, the taste of food lost beneath the embarrassment. Guests at nearby tables steal glances, whispering. Megan keeps her gaze on her napkin, shoulders curling in. When the eggs finally arrive, Robert mumbles, "Thanks," but the tension hasn't gone anywhere. He doesn't apologize, just eats in silence. Megan's stomach twists tighter. Brady tugs her sleeve, eyes worried. "Mom, can we go home after this?" he asks in a whisper. Megan nods, voice catching. "Soon, baby. It's almost over." Patricia tries again. "Why don't we all do a toast to birthdays and family?" She lifts her glass, but her voice is thin. Jessica meets Megan's eyes and mouths. "Are you okay?" Megan forces a tight smile, holding back tears. As the table clears and the check arrives, Megan's hands shake. She wraps her fingers around her bracelet, feeling the cold metal dig into her skin. "Excuse me," she says quietly, voice nearly lost in the scrape of chairs and clatter of plates. "I just need a minute." She moves quickly to the restroom, willing herself not to cry until she's alone. The mirror shows red cheeks, shiny eyes, lips pressed tight. Megan runs the tap, splashing cold water on her face. Brady's small voice echoes in her mind, someone who sees her, even when she feels invisible. In the muffled quiet, she wonders, when the person you love most turns their words into weapons, how do you move forward? Do you fight back right there? Or do you wait till you're alone to speak your truth? Have you ever been called out or embarrassed by someone you love in front of others? Would you confront them right away or retreat until you're alone? What would you do to protect your heart? Share your feelings in the comments. Sometimes, being understood is the best way to start healing. Megan dries her face, breathes deep, and braces herself to return, knowing the path to healing has to start somewhere, even if her voice still shakes. The bathroom is quiet, except for the low whir of the hand dryer and the soft scratch of Megan's breathing. She stands over the sink, eyes rimmed red. Her fingers tremble as she wipes under each eyelid, willing the flush from her cheeks. She glances down. Her silver bracelet feels heavier than ever, pressing a cold circle against her skin. A reminder of what used to be good, now a burden she can't shake. She slides the bracelet off, sets it on the counter. Its tiny clasp clinks against the ceramic, loud in the silence. For a moment, Megan just stares, letting go, even just for now, of her connection to hope. Her mind spins, replaying Robert's voice in the diner. "You're a little thoughtless sometimes." It keeps echoing, sharper each time. Faces turn, conversation stops. The world narrows, till there's nothing but his words and her shame. A tiny memory flashes. Robert hunched at his desk in their den, muttering at unread emails, his jaw tight. Another, Megan standing in the kitchen, 2 weeks ago, as another argument faded into silence before it could become anything real. Always one of them retreating just to keep the peace. Megan wonders if this has been building for longer than she wanted to see. A knock rattles the bathroom door. Someone waiting. Megan swallows, checks her hair. She turns off the tap and slips out, leaving the bracelet behind, feeling lighter and lost at the same time. Back at the table, the meal is almost over. Megan keeps her head down, answers questions with short words, her fork barely moving. Jessica glances at her, concern in her eyes. Brady squeezes her fingers now and then, but Megan only manages a weak smile. Robert acts like nothing happened, tucking into his food, looking through Megan instead of at her. Everything blurs together. The waiter bringing the check, the scraping of chairs, Alan's awkward pat on Megan's shoulder, Patricia's half-hearted, "Let's do this again soon, dear." The family packs up, laughter forced and scattered, nobody mentioning the sharpness that still hangs in the air. The rest of the afternoon, Megan floats through her chores at home like a ghost. Dishes clinking in the sink, washing machine tumbling, Brady's crayons rolling across the kitchen tile. She barely speaks, moving on autopilot. Robert holes up in his office, claiming to have work to do. His footsteps above remind her he's there, but neither of them tries to speak. Megan sits in Brady's room at bedtime. He looks up at her, worried. "Are you okay, Mom?" "I'm just tired, buddy," she whispers, smoothing his hair. She kisses his forehead and lingers there, breathing in the smell of his pillow, wishing the ache away. Downstairs, Robert's door stays shut. He checks his phone, clicks through work emails, blasts the news loud enough to drown out his own thoughts. It's easier, it seems, to pretend things will simply pass if ignored long enough. Megan wonders how many times she's done the same. That night, after the lights are out, Megan lies under the covers, staring at the shadow on the ceiling. She doesn't cry. She just feels the slow grind of humiliation turning into anger, and then the numb space that follows. The next morning, her phone buzzes on the nightstand. It's Jessica. "Are you all right?" "That wasn't okay. If you need to talk, I'm here." Megan stares at the screen, thumb hovering, her chest tight, with a strange, tired comfort. She hesitates, unsure if opening up will just make everything worse. But then she writes back slowly, "Thank you. I'm not really okay. I don't even know what to say." Jessica's reply comes right away. "You don't have to say anything yet. Just know I'm with you. You're not alone." For the first time since the diner, Megan's breath softens. A little of her loneliness washed away by another's simple kindness. Have you ever tried to keep your pain bottled up, hoping it would fade, only to realize you needed someone to see you? What helped you break the silence? Your story could help someone else find the courage to reach out. Share in the comments. Megan walks back upstairs, glimpsing her bracelet glinting in the soft bathroom light. A reminder that connection and hope can sometimes return when you least expect it. The gentle clink of coffee cups fills the air in the small cafe as Megan and Jessica take a corner booth, rain trailing down the window beside them. The world outside is gray, but inside it's warm and still, a safe space to finally rest. Megan sips her cappuccino slowly, wrapping her hands around the mug as if it's the only thing keeping her together. Jessica leans in, voice soft but steady. "You don't have to carry this by yourself, Megan." "I mean it." Megan stares at the swirl of foam. "It's just, I felt so small, Jess. When Robert yelled at me in front of everyone, I wanted to disappear. It brought back a lot, being the kid who always got it wrong, hearing someone you love call you thoughtless while everyone watches." Jessica's eyes are kind, full of empathy. "You know, I felt that with Jack too, and with Robert's brother. It's awful, like you're on display, and nobody steps in to help, not even them. I get angry sometimes, then just sad." Megan nods, wiping at her eyes. "Sometimes I think I did something to deserve it. Makes me wonder if I'll ever feel truly safe in my own family." Jessica places her hand gently over Megan's. "You didn't deserve it. None of us do. But keeping it inside just makes the pain grow. If you don't talk about it, it's like telling yourself it wasn't real." A small silence passes. The sound of other diners melts away. Megan breathes in, out, voice tightening. "Last night I tried to tell him, quietly. I told him his words really hurt me, more than he thinks. He just shrugged it off, said he lost his temper again, that it wasn't a big deal." Jessica shakes her head, concern clear. "Did you tell him what you need?" "I tried," Megan replies. I couldn't find the words." He shut down, said I was overreacting. "I haven't felt this alone in years." Jessica leans forward, hand squeezing tighter. "You deserve to be heard, Meg. No one else gets to tell you what hurts you, or how much, not even him." Outside, the rain slows to a whisper, but inside, Megan feels every drip of heartache piling up. They finish their pastries in soft quiet, but before they leave, Jessica hugs Megan close. "Promise me you won't tuck this away and pretend it's nothing." Megan smiles weakly. "I'll try." Back at home, Robert sits at his desk. Blue light splashed over his face from the laptop. Megan stands in the doorway for a long moment before she can speak. "Robert, can we talk?" she asks, voice barely above a whisper. He doesn't look up, eyes fixed on spreadsheets. "What is it, Megan?" She sits at the edge of the chair beside him. "About what happened at the diner. I know you said sorry, but I need to say that it hurt me. More than you think. It brought back things I thought I'd left far behind. It made me feel—" Robert cuts in, voice tired. "I said I lost my temper. I'm sorry you felt bad, but it wasn't a big deal. I'm under a lot right now." Megan blinks hard, her voice shaking. "It was a big deal to me. I need to feel like your partner, not someone you can say anything to, even in front of our family." Robert rubs his temples. "I just needed the eggs done right, Megan. You always take things so personally." Megan draws back, every word a tiny fracture in her chest. "Maybe I do, but I won't keep pretending it doesn't matter. Not this time." Their conversation ends in silence, both stuck and stubborn, both longing for closeness but lost on how to reach for it. Night covers the house in quiet. Megan switches on her bedside lamp, digs through the drawer until she finds an old journal, the one she hasn't touched in years. She sits cross-legged on the bed, pen shaking as she tries to put her pain into words. "Today, I tried to let him in, but I don't know if my words matter. I don't know if he understands or if he even cares. I want so badly to fix what's breaking, but I can't be the only one building the bridge. I want my family to feel safe, not to make me small." The entry trails off, unfinished. Megan closes the book and sets it on her nightstand, a quiet hope that maybe, if Robert finds it, he'll finally see the truth she can't keep saying out loud. If someone you loved hurt you like this, would you accept a quick apology? What does real forgiveness look like in your family? Share your story in the comments. Your experience could help someone feel seen and less alone in the struggle to heal. Megan reaches up, brushing her hair from her eyes as she lies back, the weight of the day settling. She doesn't know what tomorrow brings, but holding in her feelings is no longer an option. The house is still, except for the hum of the fridge. Robert stands in the doorway of the kitchen, a mug cooling in his hand. The whole place feels colder lately, like invisible walls have crept between the rooms. Megan's footsteps are quiet now. She breezes by him in the mornings, eyes tired, voice polite. The silver bracelet he gave her, the one she used to wear everywhere, sits abandoned on the bathroom counter. He notices it every time he passes, but he never asks her about it. He can't. His mind buzzes with all the things left unsaid. At work, his inbox is stuffed, his boss demanding updates, but he barely registers the messages. When he gets home, he just sinks into the couch, letting the TV fill the room, but never really watching it. He remembers how he used to joke that Megan's bracelet was her suit of armor. When she wore it, she looked braver, bolder, like someone ready to fight for herself and him and their family. Now, it's a silent accusation, proof that something important is missing. Brady sits on the floor beside him, cars scattered everywhere. The little boy looks up, eyes searching. "Why's Mommy sad this week?" he asks, picking at a frayed edge of the rug. Robert's throat tightens. "She's just tired, bud," he says, fumbling for normalcy. "She's got to nap more, that's all." But even to his own ears, the words sound fake. He watches Brady nod, but the question lingers in the air, filling the space between them. Later, after Brady's bedtime, the silence in the house is sharp. Robert paces by their bedroom door, but he can't bring himself to go in. Megan's soft snore behind the door reminds him she's real. Close and far at the same time, he wanders into the living room. His eyes land on the bookcase, where their wedding photo sits, heavy in a silver frame. The two of them, younger and lighter, smiling so wide it hurts to look. Megan's head is thrown back, laughing. Robert stands beside her, with his arm wrapped around her shoulders. He picks up the frame, thumb tracing the glass. The memory stabs at him. He flashes back to his own childhood, another November evening, long ago, his father stomping up and down the hall, voice booming after some small mishap at Thanksgiving dinner. His mom silent, shrinking into her chair, turkey gone cold. Robert remembers sitting at the table, promising himself, "I'll never do that to someone. I'll never be that man." But here he is, tired, short-tempered, making excuses, hurting the woman who trusted him most. He used to watch his dad and vow to be different. Now, he's made the silence and shame his own. Robert sinks into the couch, wedding photo in hand. He thinks of Megan's laugh, her bright eyes, the trust she used to show him. How did it get so easy to yell and so hard to apologize? When did "I'm sorry" become just a habit? Something mumbled fast, hoping it fixes the wound. He wonders if Megan has more scars from his words than he ever admitted to himself. He sees every detail in the photo. Her hand on his chest, the way she leans in, the silver bracelet glinting on her wrist. He realizes he misses more than her smile. He misses being the man who made her feel safe. He wants to ask forgiveness, but he knows words aren't enough. Not this time. He remembers one Thanksgiving with Megan's parents, years ago. Her dad hugged him. "You take care of our girl. She's got the biggest heart." Robert promised he would. Now the bracelet sits unworn, and Megan's heart is guarded. As the night deepens, Robert stands alone, clutching the photo. He looks around the empty room and finally understands. A quick apology won't rebuild what's been broken. Trust takes more than words. It takes real change, real effort, and the courage to face the truth about himself. He grips the photo, determined not to let the story end like this. The bracelet, the laugh, the promise. He vows, silently, to fight for them all. A single lamp glows, throwing soft shadows on the walls. In this hush, Robert recognizes the hardest thing. True redemption requires more than regret. It requires action. He sets the photo gently back on the shelf, breath steady now, hope and fear tangled together. The path ahead won't be easy, but for the first time in a long time, he's ready to take the first real step. The clock ticks quietly in the soft-lit office, walls lined with gentle books and tissue boxes. Megan and Robert sit side by side, the air thick with everything they haven't been able to say at home. Dr. Sandra Brooks sits across from them, her voice neither sharp nor sweet, just calm, inviting honesty. Dr. Brooks opens. "Why do you think that moment at the diner was so hard, Megan?" Megan stares at her fingers, voice low. It wasn't just his words. It was being shamed in front of everyone. Suddenly, I wasn't his partner. I felt small, like nothing I did was ever enough. I keep replaying the looks from people at other tables, the way my own family couldn't see my eyes. Robert shifts in his chair, defensive at first, but he forces himself to stay present. I lost my temper. I was mad about 100 things. Work, deadlines, being late again. But it came out on Megan. I keep thinking, she should know me by now. His voice cracks for a moment, eyes fixed on the floor. Sometimes I'm so scared of messing up at home, I push too hard. I didn't realize I was pushing you away. Dr. Brooks nods patiently. It's common to bark the loudest at those closest to us and think they'll forgive us no matter what. But those are the wounds that cut deepest. Megan, have you always felt like the target? Megan finally meets Robert's eyes. Not always, but lately, yes. I watch everything I say. Sometimes it feels like I'm always guessing, afraid the next mistake will be one yell too many. A silence falls. The room's heat clicks on. Megan tucks her feet under the chair, seeking comfort. Dr. Brooks continues. Public embarrassment is a special kind of pain. It's not about just the words. It's everyone seeing you hurt. It shakes trust because it turns a private fear into a display. Robert, what did it mean to you to see Megan's reaction? Robert's gaze drops. He rubs his palms together, fighting emotion. At first, I wanted to defend myself, make it her fault, say she's too sensitive. But when I saw her shrink, all I could think was, that's not the man I promised to be. I grew up under yelling. I hated it. But I still became that guy. Dr. Brooks offers a gentle suggestion. What would it mean to admit you're scared? Not just angry. A long pause. Robert's voice comes out rough. I'm scared of failing them. Failing as a dad, as a husband. I think if I control everything, nothing can go wrong. But I see now, what goes wrong is when I'm not there for Megan in the right way. Megan's hand trembles. She wipes her cheek, the tension easing just a notch. All I ever wanted was to feel safe, like I was someone worth standing up for, even when nobody's looking. Dr. Brooks nods solemnly. That's trust, knowing your partner will protect your heart, not make you defend it. She leans closer. This is the work, admitting the patterns, speaking the pain out loud, and promising to learn new ways forward. There's awkward hope, chipped by years of habit, but something new stirs in the hush. Robert whispers, I want to be better at this. Not just sorry, but different. I want to learn how to show up. Megan breathes out, voice steadier. I want us to be honest, even when it hurts, even if it means talking through every old scar. The therapist offers a small, round stone, smooth and cool in Megan's palm. For bravery, Dr. Brooks says, a token for facing hard things together, even when your voices shake. Megan's fingers close tightly around the stone, the weight grounding her. They stand. Robert hesitates, then gently takes Megan's hand for the first time in days. They step out into the quiet evening, unsure of what comes next, but no longer pretending the wounds don't matter. Viewer question: have you or your loved one ever turned to therapy after a breaking point? Did it change anything? Or was it just the start? Share your story in the comments. Sometimes the bravest step is reaching for help. Megan slips the bravery stone into her coat pocket, her heart beating steadier than it has in weeks. The kitchen is calm, bathed in early sunlight. Megan sits at the table, staring at her silver bracelet resting on the wood, open, waiting. Robert's footsteps cross the quiet house. He stops, finds his words. He starts softly. Megan, I'm sorry. His voice trembles, but he doesn't look away. I was wrong. At the diner, for letting stress turn to anger, and for all the times I brushed things off instead of fixing them. I know I hurt you in front of everyone you love. I want to do better. For Brady, for you, for our family. Megan's eyes fill, the silence between them real and heavy. Thank you for saying that. I needed you to see what it did to me. It didn't just embarrass me. It made me question if I was even valued anymore. Robert nods, honest but unsteady. I want to change, not just with words. I want to show you and everyone what you mean and that I can do better. She takes a shaky breath, some of her anger lifting in the quiet. Okay, show me. Later, on the porch, Megan's parents, Patricia and Alan wait, concern written across their faces. Robert approaches, clearing his throat, his hand squeezing Megan's gently. Patricia, Alan, he begins. What I did wasn't just unfair to Megan. You trusted me, and I let you down. I'm sorry for disrespecting your daughter, for setting the wrong example for Brady, and for not being the partner I promised I'd be. Patricia blinks back tears. Alan's eyes soften. All we want is for Megan to be loved and respected, Alan says, voice honest. I'm working on it, Robert replies, humble. Words hang in the air, forgiveness unspoken but beginning to bloom. Brunch arrives on Sunday. The diner is busy, the same table reserved. Megan's hands shake as she walks in, but Robert never lets go. The staff recognize them. So do some customers. It's noisy, with the clink of forks, the sizzle of bacon, the rush of coffee being poured. Robert stands, clears his throat. Conversation hushes. He speaks, voice steady. Before anyone eats, I need to say something, publicly. Last time I was here, I hurt Megan with my words. A few heads turn. She deserved respect. I failed at that. I want to thank her for her patience and for making this family what it is. I'm getting help, working to unlearn old habits, and I want you all to see that change doesn't just come from talking, but from what we do every day. A hush falls, then tentative applause. Jessica smiles. Brady beams. Megan's parents nod approval. The waitress from the last visit gives an encouraging smile. Megan, moved, wipes her eyes. Robert sits, searching her face for forgiveness. She lifts her silver bracelet from her purse. This time, sliding it over her wrist, fastening the clasp herself with purpose. She's not surrendering. She's choosing to forgive, to move forward, because real effort is meeting her at last. Their brunch together is brighter, with honest laughter, no need for pretending. Megan and Robert share quiet glances, relief mingling with gratitude. As they leave the diner, Megan and Robert walk hand in hand through the cool air. The weight between them has shifted. Their story marked by pain, but now also by courage and change. The bracelet catches the sunlight, a small but certain promise of what's possible when the hard work of healing is met by real, humble action. Have you ever seen a moment of quiet redemption transform a relationship? Did a simple act, public or private, turn things around for you? Share your story below. Sometimes it's the small, honest acts, not grand gestures, that breathe new hope into our lives. Megan looks at Robert, her smile real, no longer practiced. They step forward together, stronger because they faced the truth, and bravest because they chose, again, to hold hands and keep walking. A soft breeze drifts through the open window as Megan and Robert settle onto their porch swing. The last light of sunset warming their faces, their fingers intertwine naturally, Megan's silver bracelet gleaming, a small, hopeful symbol of all they've rebuilt. Megan's voice is gentle, weaving over scenes from their new life together. Brady's laughter rings through the house during board game nights. Megan smiles as Robert and Brady playfully compete, the air filled with warmth that had been missing for too long. It wasn't easy to get here, Megan says quietly. After the day everything fell apart, it felt like we were standing on a broken bridge, not sure if we could ever cross each other again. Quick glimpses show play dates in the park, piles of leaves flying as Brady dives in, and Robert cheers him on. At the kitchen table, Megan and Robert share real conversation, not hiding behind silence or quick apologies, but talking honestly about their hopes and worries. We learned healing takes space, Megan continues. It also takes effort, by both of us. There were days when talking felt impossible. I used to hide what I felt and hope Robert would just notice. A cozy scene unfolds. Megan and Robert curled up together on the couch after Brady's bedtime. Megan takes Robert's hand. Her voice, at first unsure, grows steadier. But we made a promise to use our words, to hold space for each other's fears and mistakes. We're not perfect, but we're honest. And that's changed everything. Small moments matter most. Brady excited to help make pancakes. Megan laughing at Robert's sloppy drawings during family Pictionary. A gentle apology after a tough day. It's not the grand gestures that heal, Megan reflects. It's the little things, the quiet choices to connect instead of hide. Megan looks straight at the camera, her voice full of gentle encouragement. If you're still hurting, if trusting feels impossible, remember, you're not alone. Starting again is hard. Wanting honest conversation, needing help, or taking time is not weakness. It's courage. Healing is possible, for you and your family too. As the sun dips below the horizon, Megan and Robert pull a soft blanket across their laps. Music drifts from inside. Laughter floats up from Brady's room, and the world feels full of ordinary, hard-earned peace. Megan's last words are steady and real. Sometimes, the second chance isn't about forgetting, but about truly being seen. Even when things break, love can come back stronger if you give it a chance. Have you ever rebuilt trust after being hurt in a public or unexpected way? What made the difference for you or your family? Comment below. Your story can give courage to someone still searching for healing. If this story touched your heart, take a moment to reflect. Have you ever rebuilt trust after being hurt by someone you love? Maybe through a real apology, honesty, or small steps over time. Share your experience in the comments below. Your story might give hope to someone who needs it right now. If you believe that forgiveness, honesty, and patient effort can bring a relationship back to life, don't forget to like, share, and follow for more true stories that show how second chances can make love stronger. Remember, it's never too late to reconnect with someone who matters as long as you're willing to try.